Welcome to Anna Learns channel. My name is Tanya. I am the author and the illustrator of the book Anna Learns How to Tell the Truth. We also have an activity book. I would love to show it to you sometime. On this channel, we learn about Jesus and we also try to be creative and artistic. And today we are going to do some digital art. So a lot of our community, they love the illustrations that I create in my book. So they've asked before to see how I create the illustrations. A lot of times on this channel, we will use our markers to maybe do some coloring pages and also do illustrations, digital illustrations. And today I want to try out a new style. I haven't done these illustrations in quite a while because I published the book recently, but I've been working on it for years. So I haven't been doing these exact style illustrations in a little bit, but I do want to try a new style today. And a lot of times I draw inspiration from my book and I like to create my main character, and her name is Anna. So today, Anna's illustration is inspired by spring. Yesterday was so sunny, you guys, but today it is gloomy again, and I am not super happy about it. I am excited for sun, but I will take it, okay? It's light outside and it's another day, so praise the Lord. I have some beautiful flowers over here, and I was gathering these a few days ago, and I got inspired by those, and I was wondering, what should I draw? And I thought, well, it's spring, so let's just draw something fun, something fresh, springy, exciting, and I think this looks pretty great for this season. So today we are going to try out a different style. Not the same as you maybe have seen in my book. If you are familiar with my book, I want to do an illustration that has a texture of chalk and that doesn't have many outlines. Now, this is an experiment today. So if you want to follow along, down below I will link a file that you can download and you will be able to follow along with me. The download will have one file with the color theme that we have created, and the other file will be just a clean file with just the sketch. I am excited to start this journey with you, to dig into our creativity, because I believe that God has gifted creativity to all of us in some aspects. Maybe you're not a super talented artist, but I believe that the Lord gives creativity to all of us in different ways because I believe it reflects Him. He is a creator. So I am excited to start this drawing. And I also want to announce to you that we are going to start our classes, and in our classes we're going to be doing a very similar thing, creating digital art, but we're going to go from very beginning to the end. So I'm going to give you an introduction to Procreate. I'm going to teach you how to sketch. I'm going to teach you how to create an anatomy of your character or any object you want to choose, and then how to color it in, tips and tricks, and then what files to export it in, what color files to choose for different purposes. So I am excited to start that. If you don't know about Anna Learns, that I will link our website down below. We are a small business right now, but I'm excited to grow it with you. Join the community on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, and here on YouTube. Please subscribe. If you love this illustration, you want to share it with somebody, or you want to draw this with your friend together, then send them this video so it can be your tutorial for when you want to be creative and artistic. Okay, so I already have my sketch done, and now we're going to talk about what happens next. So if we are drawing something that has a theme and we want this to be a spring theme, so spring colors to me personally are fresh but also not too bright. So they are beautiful, colorful, playful, but maybe a little bit pastel and maybe a little bit tame. It's a season when the nature is waking up, it's becoming more sunny, it's becoming more bright, light, exciting. So I wanted to reflect that in our colors. So I got a few colors that I liked, and I have placed them into my file. I got these on Pinterest. Something that I would recommend to you is whenever you get an inspiration from the internet, I would always recommend to make it your own and not just copy and paste it. So we are going to take this inspiration of these colors and we're going to choose what colors we want to do. So these are from different illustrations, 3 different illustrations, and we're going to make our own color palette. Here is a thing that I want you to remember. Layers are very important in your digital art process. So as you can tell, my layer number 2, let me rename it because this is my sketch. How do you spell sketch? Oh no, is that correct? I have my sketch. These we're going to delete later, so I'm not going to rename them necessarily, but now we want to go all the way to the top and we want to create a new layer. And let's name this layer color palette. If I am misspelling anything, I guess you will roast me in the comments, you guys. Okay, we have our color palette, new layer, and the convenience with that is you can hide layer anytime because it's on a separate layer. So if I don't want my color theme to be seen anymore, I can just make it invisible. Let's pretend that this is my color theme. I can make it invisible, and now I can export my file easily and I don't have to sit here and delete it. And unfortunately, anytime I want to come back to this file, I want to come back to this illustration and I do want to use that color theme again, it's not there because I had to erase it. But if we create it on a separate layer, we always can hide it and unhide it, and next time we can use it because it's not deleted, it's just hidden. So we have our color palette layer. Now let me show you what brush I wanted to use. There are so many brushes in Procreate. This brush that I'm going to be using is not my brush. It is one of the basics here in Procreate. So that's good for you because you don't need to worry about downloading any brushes, but I am sure that if you are interested in a specific texture, you can search around, and there are a lot of wonderful creators who create their own brushes, and I'm sure in the future I will create my own. If you go to calligraphy, you will see chalk. We have selected chalk because it's blue. Now let's do a little test. I love the texture of chalk. Let me make it even bigger. I love the texture of it. So that's the texture I want to play around with today. And remember, this is just an experiment. So if we change anything in the end, let's just go with the flow. It's always more fun to do it that way. In Procreate, you can take your 2 fingers and it will undo, and take your 3 fingers and it will redo. So we don't want that there anymore, so I undid it. Now we are going to start picking what colors we like and we want to keep or change around. So we're going to make it our own. Some colors we may keep and other colors we may change around to whatever fits us. We are on our color palette layer, so let's pick our colors. Let's start with the classics. We need a skin color. I had my eye on this color. I think it fits really well. We're going to take our color picker. We're going to drag it to the color and we're going to place our color anywhere you want on the page. Be creative. This is your page. You can do it however you want to. If you want to follow along, that's wonderful. But if you want to create this in your own way, please do. It is really fun to get creative and make it your own. I have my skin color. Now let's go to another basic hair color. So Anna's hair is brown, So we need a good brown color for this. It's a pretty specific brown. It's dark and it doesn't have much of, sometimes it has a little red undertone, but I don't really see a color necessarily that would work here. This brown could maybe work possibly, but I'm going to change it around a little bit, knowing my character. I'm going to go into my color, press on the color, and I'm going to go to disc. You can use classic and you can use value, but I like disc the most. I can drag it around in this outer circle and also in this circle. So this is the color that we selected. It's a nice brownish color. I would say that I would want to, and we will see it change over here and over here. Let's make it a tiny bit darker. And I probably would be happy with that. Now let's test it out. So the one thing that I am seeing is that it has a purple undertone, and that's what we don't want. Anna's hair can be a little reddish, but not really a purple undertone, so we don't like that back. So here we can also see the progression of our colors. This is the color that it was at first. Now this is the color that we have now, and the next color would be the color that we are about to create. So in order for it to not be that purple, I'm gonna take it away from this section and bring it more to the orange section. Did you see how that changed? So we're going to keep it around there and let's test it out. I like it. It's more warm and less purplish. Back. So now we have this color that we have now, and we can place it into our color palette that is our own. You can make it prettier, you guys. You can make hearts, you can make better circles, you can make squares, anything you want, but I'm just going, I like some rough shapes, organic shapes. Okay, now the fun part is we get to decide what we want her outfit to look like. I want it to be fun and exciting. Usually Anna's outfit is purple and yellow. That is classic Anna colors. Her sweater is purple and her overalls are yellow. But today, because it's inspired by spring, her outfit can be whatever we want it to. I was thinking that I might want a pastel purple or maybe pastel blue for her sweater, because I want to add fun daisy flowers on there. So, well, let's try out a purple color. I got my picker, and I really like this light purple color. Let's see what we think about it. So, I like it, but to me, it just seems so dull, too dull. Let's try this pink color. Again, this one is a little dull, so it's pastel, but maybe I would want it just a tad brighter. Let's also pick brighter color. So this color palette is a little more pastel and these are a little bit more bright. So what if we pick out of this beautiful ones? It's pretty. I think it's a little too dark for what we're doing here. I think maybe we need to go with a purple, but change it around and make it a little bit more bright. So what we can do here, at the moment, it's sitting in this area where it's kind of close to gray. We can change it to an area where it's a little bit more in the light. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. I love that. maybe even a little bit more pastel, but still not in the gray area, but more in the white area. I like that. Let's keep that there. And then let's decide what we want for her overalls. So I'm going to create another layer just to kind of have the colors next to each other. I think it's always helpful to have the colors next to each other when you are testing out any colors. What if we go with some blue? Maybe these two would be nice. I don't know, let's try it out. I don't know how they would sit together. Not bad. What about a light blue? That light blue is a little too gray. I don't like that one. But I do like that we have blue over here. So maybe this one, but lighter. This one, but less in the gray, more in the bright. Let's see. I like that. That's pretty. And maybe a darker one to do for a pocket or something. Nice, pretty turquoise. I think that's beautiful. Let's do those two. Maybe the turquoise, the other turquoise, a little less green and more blue. So I'm gonna go from here to a little bit more blue. It's staying in the same place, but it's changing the color. A little bit more blue. Let's see. Which one do we like more? Greenish or bluish? I feel like the green gives it a little bit more of a spring vibe, so maybe that was better. Yes, that's the green we need. So that green goes over here, and another blue. Oh, no, made a mistake. We are on the layer of testing. We also have a color palette layer, but I just put a color on top of this one. So I'm gonna undo, and I'm going to go to the color palette layer, and I'm going to put my color here. So this will happen to you often if you're just starting up. It happened to me all the times, and it still happens. I do things on different layers because you have to keep up with your layers, and as you continue drawing, you will have more and more and more layers, but don't let it stress you out because it is totally normal to forget sometimes. Just try to get in a habit. And now we're going to select this color, check that we are on the correct layer, and we're going to place it here. Do we like our combination so far? I hope it turns out pretty. I know we can make it pretty, it just okay. And now we can decide the socks. So for the socks and for the shoes, do we want to do something that kind of goes with these colors, or go with a completely new color? Because orange might be fun. Or am I crazy, you guys? We're gonna make her real bright, but why not? It's kind of fun. So we are on the color palette. So I'm gonna go to our testing. We're gonna see. I like the combination of these colors. And maybe even orange with a little bit of yellow. I don't see many yellows that I like here. Maybe this one. So let's put this orange. Let's check if it's in the gray area. Not really. So let's add this one to our color palette. And and we need something for the stripes. So I'm thinking yellow would brighten up this pretty good, and it would go together nicely with the daisy color. So let's see what we think about this yellow. On the right layer, I think this yellow is a little green. Let's go and look at it. So I'm gonna go to a better, brighter yellow here. Not all the way here though, because this is on the edge of making it kind of green, and I want to get out of this gray area. I want to get straight to yellow. You can even see the difference over here. See how that one's more grayish, greenish, and the one that I am picking is much more yellow and fresh. Let's see. On the test one, I like it. Maybe we can make it a little more pastel by going to white. I like it, and I think the daisy will go well with that one. So let's place it right here in our color palette. Go to color palette. What about our shoes, you guys? What do we want to do for shoes? If I could have yellow over here, I would do that with pleasure. But we don't have any votes that you can cast on YouTube. It's not a live stream, but we might do sometime. I do like this color right here. It's kind of burgundy, kind of terracotta. What did they call it? Terracotta, huh? Interesting. I think those shoes would be kind of cute. I don't want it to be too autumny, but I think it's not going to be autumn with these colors and purple. So I think we are okay if you use this color. Let's see with our shoes. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. And ideally, it sounded great, but I don't know. Let's try select. So I like these colors. They're brighter. And remember, when you are doing this, pick the size of a brush that you like. So I like to work in the middle when it's something small. I don't want to sit there on a small brush and just fill it in. That would be annoying. So I want to go medium. But if you have a big space to fill in, then you can go all the way to 100. Oh, I love this texture. Beautiful. I don't need to go to 100. I am at 24%. It's kind of cute. I don't know. What do we think? I feel like it's pretty bright with all the other colors. They're a little more tame. So I don't think that's going to work. What about this one? I am intrigued by this one. It's like a coral. Yes. Now that works. It kind of works so well with all the three colors because it's not super bright. It's in the pastel bracket, but it's not. It also brings up some color because it's a coral color. Usually they're pretty bright. So we're gonna go to our color palette. We're going to put it over there. And technically, we don't have anything else that we need to do. There might be a few details like outline for her eyes, cheeks. I always do cheeks on Anna Learns. In coloring pages, they're a little bit more strong in color, and in my digital illustrations they're not as strong in color. But today I want to do a fun new style, so I do want her cheeks to be like right there. You can obviously do anything else just how you please. So what if we go to our test colors? What if we select obviously our skin color? This would be our skin, and we then would try this pink for our cheeks. I already know it's gonna be a little too purple and too dusty pink. Nah. Okay, so we are on that pink, and we don't want it too purple, so let's stay away from that purple. And let's go a little bit more. We don't want it too bright, but we don't want it really dusty purple pink. Now, I love that one. I would maybe, should I bring down opacity? Yeah, that's super cute. I will bring down opacity when I do the cheeks. You know what? I'm going to keep it this way and know that I need to bring it down in opacity later, because I do really like this color that we mixed up over here. And I would also write down opacity here, maybe with clear. I am doing eraser, so opacity. Oh wow, that is really, really big opacity. Okay, now we can go to our layers, and we can either erase or just dim our colors. Not dim, hide our colors. So I'm gonna delete, I don't need it. Now, I don't think we will need this color palette, so I'm going to hide them for now. Okay, now what we're going to do is, we have our colors, now we fill our illustration. We forgot about green for this, but that's okay. Details. We are going to go under our sketch, and we want to create a layer there. So this is over, I would just grab it, drag it under. I like to create each section of color on different layers, or each element on different layers. So hair will be on one layer, and you will see why in the video. It is very helpful in your shading process, highlights process, texture process. So you will see why, and I would recommend you to do the same and do them on different layers. So we're going to start with skin. Here is our skin layer. We're gonna go make sure that we are in chalk. And why do we do it under the sketch? Because we still want to see our lines and our borders when we are coloring it in. So sketch is over, skin is under. See how that is just coloring under our sketch. It's very helpful to see what we have so far. So one trick with Procreate, which is really awesome, is you can create an object, and then you can drag color inside and it will fill it. But it doesn't quite work often with textured brushes like this. So if I have my brush and I want to fill it, it doesn't recognize the object because I think it has so many little gaps. As you can tell, chalk is pretty textured, so you can see the layer underneath, and that means that all of these white spots are gaps, so it doesn't quite see it. Maybe if your outline would be like really, really, really harsh, yeah, it can. But what I love about chalk is not the super filled in look, but quite on the contrary, a look that is clear that it's chalk. So you can see the difference. This is more filled in, and this has the texture of chalk, and I do prefer this more. And how I do it is I don't press too hard. I don't go over the color multiple times. I try to go light. This is hard. This is light. And I try to just very lightly color, and go next to each other. So you have these gaps. And if I'm not happy with the gap, I'll go over it a little bit. But I still want to see these gaps. And I would recommend to have your brush on quite high, because if you're on low, it might look like streaks. But if you're on high, the brush will be thick itself and it will be easier to color. Made a mess, undo. That's why we love the undo part. And be aware that when you go to gallery and you go to home and then you go back into the illustration, you won't be able to undo. So whenever you go out to gallery, make sure anything that you want to undo, you undid it. So I have my face filled in. As you can see, I have some gaps. It's okay. We can fix it up or not. It's kind of fun. That's the feel with this illustration. That's the feel that we want to go for. So I'm doing all the skin on one layer. We don't want to go over it though. Maybe we'll do a little bit of an outline after, but maybe not everywhere on her body. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna go with the flow, you guys. We're gonna see how it looks when we take away the outline. So this is what I'm saying. We will later just take away this outline. So see how rough that looks? We might have to do an outline. And I think if we would have wanted it tidier, then we would go on top of sketch. We wouldn't be able to see all of the lines necessarily, but we would be able to see how clean our edge is. So we would go and do a nice clean edge and then just fill in our object, you know. But when we don't see what's happening because we are under the sketch, it's hard for us to know where our lines are ending. So it turns out a little rough like that. But we're gonna experiment next time. Maybe we'll do one that's over the sketch and we won't do any outline. I don't know, we can do anything we want. Let's make sure we're on the right layer, skin, and I'm going to go and fill this in. Okay, we finished our skin one. Now we're going to go on top of it, a new layer, and we're gonna call it hair. I would say if the elements are far from each other, for example, hair is at the top half of her body and then shoes are at the bottom half of her body, we can combine those into one. So let's do hair and shoes. Hair and shoes. Hair and shoes. So we're going to select the hair color that we want, and that is in our color theme. And we're gonna start going at it. see which one we like the most, because why not? We're learning. We're learning how to be creative. We're learning what we like, what we don't like. So it takes some time because I can't just drop the color in it, because this is a really rough edge brush. So if we create an outline, it wouldn't really recognize that outline. So I would say I don't like how there's too much white here, so I'm going to go over it a tiny bit. I like that better. Okay, we did the hair. Now the same layer, it says shoes, so let's do her shoes. Now obviously her shoes has multiple parts to it, so this part maybe let's keep white, and then maybe this part can be the color we picked. Now, if you have something white, you might think, oh, I'll just leave it this way. But I would recommend to actually take white and fill it in, because anytime you want to create this as PNG, PNG means that it's a sticker. You want to take away the background, you're going to end up with a hole here. So I would take white literally here, or I can make it more creamy white, grayish white if I want to. Yeah, I'll put it in our color palette too, guys, if you want to use this. Just a little creamy beige color. Let's try to use it for the top, bottom too. Why not? You can change this however you like. Let's see, where's our color palette? I'm gonna take, our pink again. We got it. I love how these colors are turning out. Okay, we did those. Now let's create another color, another layer. Let's do her sweater. Let's do her sweater with socks. I think that would be an okay combination. Sweater and socks. Okay, for our sweater, we want purple. Use small brush, a little bit bigger, fill it in. So here I like this, but I don't necessarily like how much I filled it in. You see the difference here and here? So what I can do is I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to select it on chalk, and I'm going to go opacity all the way up. I'm gonna erase it a little bit. And just the spots that I feel like it can be less filled in. And then I'm gonna go to my brush and I'm gonna redo those spots and do them just lighter so it doesn't feel like it's filled in so much. Yes. Okay, I like it better. And we need to do socks. So for our socks, let's pick our base. Let's be this our base, and then the stripes on top will be our contrast. And let's fill it in. I love it. And now let's do our stripes. We can do it on the same layer. That will be better. Fun stripes. And now we have the daisy. Let's do the daisy here too. Why not? Because we are already using yellow. We're just generally filling in the color. Perfect. And now for the sweater, for the cuffs here, or whatever you want to call it, I'm not sure what we should use just yet, but maybe let's just take the same purple and let's extend it, and then in the part 2 we will decide what we want to do and let our imaginations run wild. Okay, let's fill in this hair because it's bugging me. Okay, is it bugging you guys? You can let me know in the comments. I kind of ignored it for a second. Sorry if that made you mad. Okay, done. Make sure that you did that on the right one. So I did it on hair and shoes. Now we're gonna go to sweater and create a new one, and it's gonna go on top, but still under sketch. So now we can fill in our overalls. Okay, so let's see. Let's rename. I might be spelling it wrong. Probably, but let's just go with it. Okay. We want to select with our color picker, and let's take the lighter bluish green, maybe lighter turquoise, and fill in with that one first. Too small a brush. I think we did well with these colors. Let me know what colors you guys picked, and I would love to see your results. If you have any social media, you can send me or tag me in your post, or you can send it to me on my email, annalearnsbooks@gmail.com. And I would love to see it, and if you want, I can share it with our community, because it's always fun to see other people achieve things get better at things. And practice makes progress, you guys. That's what I teach my students. Let me know if you want a video about me, because I don't know if you really know me much. I'm so sorry my phone cut off, but this is where we are, and I'm excited for part 2. Please subscribe, follow us on Instagram to see what other art we do, because we use these beautiful Hulu markers to do some coloring together, and we get creative in different ways and glorify the Lord through our gifts and talents. So this is what we have so far, and in the next part 2, we are going to do some shading, highlights, fix up the textures, do the outline, and finish it up. I am so honored that you would spend this time with me, and please send me your results, send me your artwork. I would love to see it, how you did, and I'm sure you're gonna do great. Believe in yourself, and just remember that practice makes progress, and I will see you all in the next video. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss the part 2, and you also see other upcoming videos that are going to come out. I love you all, God bless, and I'm excited to see you soon.